the podcast.
So
First of all, before we really start going, how do we sound? Are we close enough?
Sound beautiful.
We sound beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Nick. And I think that brings us to our first agenda on the podcast.
Yeah, we want to take a second to thank you, Nick,
Yeah.
for doing all of this.
Yeah.
For setting it up, for accepting the job, being the producer.
Our newest producer.
Yeah. Taking care of all of the business behind the scenes.
Taking care of business already contributed so much in terms of getting that sound up and running.
Yes.
We appreciate you, man. Thank you so
you.
much for making this trip and doing this with us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, brother.
All right.
which-
Second, we have a new setup. And we would like to thank the person that allowed us to have this setup. JP's going to handle that.
Yeah, my dear friend, Willie Fastfeet. Thank you so much for letting us borrow all this equipment and giving us. It's crazy to see this as a setup. We really are.
It looks so different.
This is
wild.
nuts. Not only do we have Nick, but also we have equipment that makes us our sound better. We have multiple cameras going right now, and we're all able to do that. Especially these beautiful bad boys you see right in front of you here. Which brings me to the next point, which is our first unofficial yet official sponsor of the show. Who thought we'd be here? We're brought to you today by Joker Inc., located in Beacon, New York, on 18 West Main Street. You can reach them at 845-863-3460. They are available for all of your screen printing needs, embroidery, direct-to-film digital printing, and heat transfer. Jerseys, hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts, tote bags. He's got it all. That's Joker Inc. We appreciate you so much.
So much. Thank you.
This is it's a big moment for us to have our first sponsor, and I love you, buddy. I'm thinking about you. You've been a dear friend of mine for many years, and you made this happen for us today. And thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Much appreciated.
So,
Well, we're also in a brand new
spot.
location.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if this will be the setup every time, but at least for right now,
This was
this is our setup for the day.
well, this is our setup because we were handling so many other new things. We just wanted to keep that simple. And we were able to do that based on,
Yeah.
you just make it work, We made it work the first time.
Yeah.
Except now,
This is way different than the first.
just
episode.
even looking at the point of view down this thing
Yeah.
is a little nuts.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. It's only been 2 months. It's been 2 months since we started this.
Yeah.
Look how far we've come.
Yeah. When around did we start this?
August. End of August. August 17th or something like that.
All right. Well, I mean, that's
Yeah.
it's quite the upgrade. We're looking.
Yeah.
This is nice.
New apartment, new equipment.
Yeah. How are you feeling? How does this feel to record? We are somewhere different, but you live here. You've lived here for the past almost week now.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still getting used to things. This is Lola's second day here, so it's a big adjustment. I feel like yesterday was the first real day, though. We had a couch and we had the dog. Thank you yesterday for helping me out,
man.
moving everything.
Anytime. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah. I mean, I feel bad. My mom,
We kept the headaches at bay.
And she was just like, we just got home. And I was like, what? And, it was 8:40. I just figured she forgot to text me. And I was like, oh, damn.
No, I was home by 8:30.
Oh, okay. Well, she texted me around 8:40.
But I texted you that I had gotten it way after, way after it had gotten dropped off.
Yeah. But thank you for doing that.
Yeah, that was
We have a little sample of what we had a conversation that we recorded in the car just to
we did a little
see what it'd be like.
on the fly. But I mean, in terms of moving jobs, me and you have done crazier. You've helped me with way more.
Remember
nuts
when I had a
moves.
broken arm and you moved into the first apartment and you had to bring a king size bed up 4 flights of steps with just
My
your
pops.
dad?
My pops was about.
Yeah.
I thought I saw
I couldn't even.
I
do
saw the
anything.
mortality in his eyes. He was at the top of those stairs, I can't do this. 4 flights of stairs.
Just bring the mic closer to you.
We have a producer.
Yeah, man.
I mean, we got to.
Yeah, no, these things are
these
these
things
are these things are serious. So they work really well, but you got to get close to them. You just got to get used to talking down the barrel.
So we got other things that are exciting coming up next week. We have an interview too.
Yeah,
It's our second guest.
yeah. We only know him over the internet now, but
Yeah, briefly through Instagram. Just saw what he was doing. It's at the Real Mozo. You'll see him next week. Jose, he's a good guy.
Yeah,
so far.
we'll have
I'm sure he is.
Yeah, he's a mental health advocate.
Great message that he does.
He's spreading good word, stuff that we're definitely in support of.
Yeah.
So that's going to be exciting. Yeah, and and what's even like kind of more exciting is that like we worried about how we would have setups for that, and now like
we have a setup.
Now it's going to be a much easier thing to manage, to have like multiple mics and
multiple angles.
Yeah,
well, I mean, if you got a tripod, Jose, bring that shit through. 4 cameras. So, what do you want to talk about today?
I don't know. Life comes at you fast, though, doesn't it?
Yeah. I know we talked yesterday about talking
That's what
about,
I'm thinking about.
Moving on from some stuff and, like, moving on to, like, new things. I mean, I don't know how you feel, like, what you want to talk about, but...
This is something that always comes to mind for me when I think about, like, moving and stuff like that, which is a lot of people think that moving just solves their problems. You go to a new place, and it can solve certain issues, like if you feel stuck, but it doesn't solve everything.
Yeah.
So how are you... In just these first couple days, how have you managed to adapt to being down here and like with merging it with your routine and working and getting around in a different way?
So, take a nice breath, and we'll get into it.
Take a second to breathe, yeah. Breathe in, breathe out. Couple rain clouds ain't gonna get me down. I said, breathe in, breathe out. I'm getting back to me. All the things I do, all the things I say, all the times I took a chance, all of the mistakes I made, none of it matters. None of it matters at all. All the things I do, all the things I say, all the times I...
The first couple days have been interesting so far. It's like getting into routine, like finding the subway. Like I know exactly how I'm getting into Queens, like from Queens to Manhattan, from Manhattan back to Queens, figuring that out. I've been walking around a lot, trying to get used to the neighborhood and figure out where stuff is, parking too, like with both sides of the streets. Routine wise though, like I'm still starting the day pretty much the same way. Like today was the first day that I got a nice workout and yoga in the house this morning. Like
very nice.
Walked Julianne to the train with the dog, and then like after she went up to the subway to go into work, me and Lola went for our like 3-mile walk. It was nice. Go right through Astoria Park. Like I feel like my routine is enhanced almost right now. With the new setup and like the way everything is, like it's very nice. It's like a good feeling to be in.
It is cozy in here. I told you that yesterday, but now like we got the candle going.
Yeah, it'll be like we'll figure out how we're gonna set up when we do this, but like for now we're also missing a lot of stuff from the house, so I'm not showing you that shit. This is as nice as it looks right now. So
yeah, but it's different because like we've done most of them on your parents' deck.
Yeah.
And now we're
doing it in my apartment.
Yeah, you live
Our
here.
Apartment.
You live here, yeah. That's
yeah.
Well, nobody's gonna walk in the door and be like, hey, like I got something to do. Can you can we wrap this up? The lawn people aren't gonna
Yeah, no, I know. It'll be good to do this not on Mondays. Because Monday is garbage day. So there's dudes like in this alleyway just
Which
right
day?
behind me. Mondays.
Mondays, okay.
Yeah, just ripping shit around.
Yeah.
How are you doing? So what's it like not having me up there?
It's a little lonely for sure. Like it definitely makes it because now we just have to be more deliberate about doing this.
It was very real when you and my mom both left yesterday. Like because the dog's here and like now the living room's set up a little bit. It was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like when I walked away from my mom, I was like getting like teary, and then like I said goodbye to you, and then like when I started to walk, I was like, damn.
Yeah,
like,
I feel like I also like I wanted there to be a moment yesterday where I was like, really like, congrats, but I was so focused on getting out of the city with that fucking van.
Yeah, I know.
That like, and like I was like I can't, and I was trying like on the way back to make sure that like I kept your mom within like my eye line
Yeah.
because I was like, I knew that she's gonna get me the way out of here. That was the
easiest.
best. Yeah, that's the best way out. But yeah, man, congratulations. This is like it's a nice spot. Like it's a whole different lifestyle now. You know,
Yeah.
now you live in the city, and like I've always like had a weird relationship with driving in the city, but like I love being down here, and it completely changes it now that you're here.
Yeah.
You know, that's totally different.
Start looking.
I don't know if I'm there yet. I still got to figure some other things out.
Yeah.
But it's nice. It's calm down here.
We definitely got like a good spot. Like I love our location. I love like the complex. It's like a complex. I mean, I don't really know how else to describe it. It's like 2 blocks long. Like it's 33rd to 35th, and it's like the whole wraparound is buildings. But like
Yeah.
we have the courtyard in the middle, which is beautiful. Like
Well, you're not gonna get
Yeah.
you're not gonna get that private in New York City, like,
Yeah, I
unless
know.
you've got serious.
yeah, but I mean, like we
serious
got
breach.
the washer and the dryer and the fucking dishwasher.
Yeah, that's a
Clutch.
rarity. That does not usually.
Yeah.
That you
The kitchen's my favorite though. I do love having this open kitchen.
it is nice. Yeah. Yeah, and you've got like that. The spice rack is.
Yeah,
I
the-
told you
the
yesterday,
hidden spice rack.
rack is fucking.
There's a good
Legit.
amount of space in here, which I was really concerned about. Like at the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know like how much room we were gonna have in the city, but now that I see it, like the ceilings are high.
Well, it's nice. Like I told you this yesterday, which is that like it's nice to have the 1 bedroom versus the studio, which is like the open concept can be nice, but it's always nice that like when you live with someone to be able to like do
privacy.
your own thing and have a little bit of privacy for a little bit of time. Because like in terms of apartments, even the apartment that like we lived in,
Yeah.
like this is a lot smaller for you.
Yeah,
But like it's New York City.
Yeah,
Like
man.
what is the like and you know like
There's-
this is what you're going to get. This is it's nice. It's like very modern too.
I know. Lola just farted on camera.
Lola
Damn.
feels like home, doesn't it now?
The mics will pick that up now.
The mics are so serious. Lola. Hey Nick, look up if a damn fart can be heard from a dog on the headphones. Look that up for me, man.
It's crazy having you here.
I know.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, like, and we've never even recorded with
Another
really other
person
people. Like
around.
you were here for a little bit in the beginning yesterday, or the not yesterday, the last time that we recorded. But it's it's interesting because it's like you never forget that moment.
Yeah,
Like it becomes like a abstract concept after a while, but like you never forget like that first moment where you're like, oh shit.
yeah.
Now like I don't need to.
Yeah, like yesterday, like I said, when you guys left, I walked her down by the East River, like looking right into Manhattan, and like the sun was setting, bro. And it was just like, I was so fucking grateful. Like, what a nice moment that was from like where I've been recently to like where I am now, and like getting to just have that moment, like take it in. Like, I'm with the dog, like my favorite person in the world, like, and I'm just like, grateful that like look how far we've come. Like me and Julianne like set out to do this, and now we're fucking doing it, and it's like really nice that like we've accomplished this. And like it's nice to look back and be like, I like the situations we've been in before, and now we're here.
Yeah.
And like it's just such a long, like it's such a good
It was a
feeling.
long buildup of
Yeah.
like, even though you only like seriously started like looking like, you know, within the last couple months,
Yeah.
but like it's been something that's been a plan for you guys for a
For a
while,
really long time.
whether it was talked about or not, that like you were definitely going to go.
Yeah.
And now that moment is here. Like now we're like, this is the studio now.
Yeah, for real.
Like-
Chilling in the stews with my dudes.
In the stews, yeah. Peep the brick.
Yeah, man.
The brick is serious.
I know. I can't wait to have it like decorated and have shit like hanging out, like plants everywhere, more plants, mad plants.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm curious to see like how do we make this work with a guest too?
Yeah,
Like that'll be because it's gonna look cool because now we've got multiple angles to like. It makes me almost want to bring Will back just so we can have multiple camera angles.
we'll definitely have him do this again, because then like it'll like, even if we did it at his house, you know, like think about how different it would be now.
Yeah, I mean, I brought this. I mean, we moved a bunch of other stuff for you, but I brought this whole setup down in 2 or 3 bags.
Yeah.
Like,
It's not bad at all.
wasn't bad. Yeah, it's not horrible if we want to go and like do this elsewhere. If somebody says like, oh, I have a private studio to come record, like it would be easy for us to pack this up and
hit the road. Yeah.
Could be.
Once we figure out how to do it remotely too.
Yeah. Well, that's something we'll have to figure out. Yeah.
For other guests that we have coming.
Because like we may not be able to find the, 5 or 6 hours to make the trip upstate or for me to come down here. But if we just say like, no, I've got like my whole morning is wide open, but then I got shit to do. We can just hop on and like, and even we'll probably have to get more in the habit of figuring out what we're going to talk about remotely too.
Yeah.
Like just hopping on FaceTime and being like, so what do you think we'll talk about tomorrow's episode? Like we just had the luxury yesterday of
we were we were in the car for 45 minutes together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That we just like now, like that's awesome that like we can make use of time like that.
Yeah.
And that like that feels productive now versus like, is it a pain in the ass? Yes, but it's not so much of a chore because we also got something done.
Yeah, like I said it to somebody yesterday, like I feel like this is the first time in my life that I'm like doing what I really want to be doing, and like my job is just like to pay the bills, and then this is like what I'm really focused on.
Yeah. Me and you talked about waking up with like a little bit more purpose because of this, because it's like, even if it's not waking up and recording, it's like something, what can we do to point this in the right direction?
Yeah, no, I spend a lot of time thinking about this podcast, like every single day. Even when I'm walking, like in the morning, that's like a time I do it when I'm meditating in the morning too. I'm always thinking in the morning and then trying to do things like later in the day. Do you ever find yourself, I think it's easier to learn in the morning and like actually do the creative act in the afternoon as opposed to vice versa, like waking up and doing something creative and then like.
No, I don't like to, like, I think like the best time to do that is like probably right after. Like you take that time for yourself. Like you go on your walk, meditate. Like I always like to write, like I've really made it a habit to write in my journal in the morning because then I feel like I get out all the shit that.
Yeah, you're
it's
a
like
really good writer too.
It's like a filter. Oh, thank you, bro.
No, you
very
are.
Nice
I see you write all the time, and like the
Thank
stuff
you.
that you write down for the podcast, it's always like intricate when you say
Thanks,
it.
man.
Like,
yeah, no, like
that's something I would like to do more.
Well, I've kind of figured out because like I've always struggled with like that creative writing aspect of like, writing screenplays and things like that. But that kind of stuff just comes naturally because I know where the idea is headed.
Yeah.
Like when it's like a creative project, I feel like there's a million ways to go and there's so many options. But if I just say like, oh, I have to write a summary of the podcast, that's 500 words. I can like give me like 10 adjectives and I can just like write all that down, get going. But like, I feel like that journaling aspect and the writing, like just basically doing like the copywriting for the podcast has changed how I look at writing for myself, that it doesn't have to be so strict and like confounded, because then when you sit down with a purpose, I also find myself craving, like I wish I could just like write about anything right now.
Yeah.
But I'm working that out. I try to spend the time that I can, like that is like I consider the time I spend on the podcast creative time.
Yeah.
Whether that's editing or coming up with new ideas or new, whatever it is that we're going to do, or just like me and you brainstorming about stuff that we're going to do. That feels creative to me. Like that feels in the same lane as sitting down and writing my own project. So then maybe once I get more of a handle on that, because I have like, I have other things that I have to figure out before like this can become, how do you say it? Like more settled. You know what I mean? Like I got some stuff to figure out in my own life that, is probably just getting in the way of like me being able to give 100% to this,
Have you ever thought about writing it out?
I do write it out. That's the journaling is really helping with that. But I mean that just like I have to get like more stable in terms of like my employment and like where I'm living.
Okay.
Figure out stuff like that, that'll make me feel like, I mean, you say like how good does it feel to
my God,
to be
dude,
settled with employment that works with your schedule, that you're able to sit down and do this. Like
I feel like I'm in a flow state right now, to be honest. But I mean, there's like talking about your writing. You should take that book by Augustus home today, How to Kill a White Man, because I feel like that'd be really good for you. Because in a lot of ways, that's just him like free flowing writing, like whatever's coming.
Stream of consciousness.
Yeah. I feel like if you read that, it might inspire you. Like,
well, that's what I like to do with my journaling. Honestly, I've gotten much better at like like letting my mind run, like just like sitting there for a moment and being like, all right, what is really like on my mind bothering me? And actually one of the things that I journaled about yesterday was about how I feel like the tendency for myself when I'm doing journaling and stuff like that is to, not in necessarily like a bad way, but subconsciously just figuring out like, all right, well, what can I do better? How can I improve? Like, where does that start? And that oftentimes when I go to my journal, I don't really write about when something good is going on, or when like I'm excited about something, or like I'm anxious about how something's going to turn out in the future because I'm excited about it. I have more of a tendency to look towards that like negative aspect. That is like, okay, well, what's something I can work on? What's something that I can get down or like get rid of to filter through, versus like celebrating when, like yesterday, I woke up and felt great. Like I knew exactly what we were doing. Like I was going to see your place. It was going to be all set up. I was in a great mood, and I took the time to be like, I'm realizing that like my journaling habit usually revolves around something that needs to change, like negative thoughts or anxiety, but like rarely ever talking about like dreams or exciting things, like even just being grateful. There's this like tendency to go towards like, okay, how can I get better? Like what am I not looking at? Where do I need to dig deeper? Versus just like celebrating when you feel good.
Yeah.
And be excited. Yeah.
My journaling is like the exact opposite almost, because like there's things that sometimes like I'm like, maybe I should just write this out, like what's going on in my head, because then it'll be out.
Yeah.
But I don't ever do it. But like when I write, all of my writing is I am grateful for, like it's affirmation stuff like that, and like trying to be like in the moment, like right now I have this and it's going really well and I'm really enjoying it, like as opposed to like when I'm like feeling some other type of way, like I could, like if I'm like sad or like I'm angry, like writing that down, like trying to write through that emotion, you know what I mean? You know, I've never really given that a shot. Sometimes I try to, like I've tried a couple times. It's just
to write down stuff that like is like your anxiety, or
just
like
to like free flow, like conscious stream.
No,
like,
it's
like,
very hard to get to.
yeah.
I struggle with it all the time still. Like sometimes it can be hard, like you have to just like
I start thinking about what I'm writing and I'm like, just fucking write, like don't think about it, just like what's going on. Like
you almost have to like turn your brain off, and then you don't even notice where your mind is wandering to, and then you have to catch it and be like, okay, that's where I'm going with this. Like you have to catch it in the beginning, because then you start weaving down, and then you don't know like what the root of that issue is.
Yeah.
And I feel like you can really get to, like we talked about in I think a few episodes ago, that like these little things that turn into these huge anxieties, that if you like work on them and get them on paper, and like even just try to, like oftentimes it can be this big thing that is like this cloud of something. If you try to like really identify what it is, it can help to be like, well, that's okay. As long as I know that that's what it is, like try to figure out how can I think differently about it, versus being caught up in this like huge, massive group of people who are going to judge me, or whatever that group is.
Yeah.
To you in your mind, even if that's all you can label it as now. But eventually maybe you realize it's like, oh, it's my mom, or it's my friend, or it's my girlfriend, or but it's not you, most importantly.
Yeah. Huh.
Did that make you just ponder for a second?
Yeah. I don't have a rebuttal right now. Tell you what, I forgot we did mushrooms.
Yeah, my heart's beating a little.
No, I just like when I touched the water before, I was like, ooh, that feels so good.
You should have worn the mushroom shirt today.
Oh, the one I wore yesterday. Nah, I'm repping Stevenson Ranch all day today. Just a walking
Nick is
billboard.
Yeah. Nick is too. Nick is rocking it. I've seen him.
A walking billboard.
Yeah. I guess I'll have to get a matching one too. All right, fine.
Yeah, and we'll have Joker ink hats too that we can wear.
Yeah, that's something that we could talk about. Like, we're definitely going in the direction of merchandise soon. We also have a logo on the way.
Yeah,
that we're really, really excited about. That is going to be like our main artwork on Spotify, YouTube,
We're gonna have a couple.
It's going to
nice
show
ones
up more in our
for a while.
videos. Like we've had the sketch for a while now, which we've had great feedback about the sketch.
Yeah. 12 episodes the sketch lasted.
Yeah.
It'll probably be 13 or 14. It might
Yeah.
get all the way to 15 before we get it.
Yeah.
Like, it depends.
But let us know. I think we might put the sketch on like a limited edition T-shirt.
Yeah,
That would be cool. But we also want to see what this
merch.
merch looks like, or what the logo looks like.
Yeah. We got a couple ideas for merch though.
Yeah, we know what direction we want to go in.
Yeah. We got some exclusive content that might be coming up too.
Oh, be careful. You better identify that a little bit more.
No, not what you think it is.
Not
It's
what you think,
it is.
you perverts. No, we're probably going to start doing like...
Meditations and stuff.
Yeah, our episodes are going to open up a little bit more, and the ones that'll be on...
Because we're getting comfortable doing this shit.
Yeah, but the ones that'll be on the platforms will be probably more slimmed down, and you may have to subscribe to something to get the like uncut episode.
Yeah.
Which would be cool. Like that would be a way for us to like really get in touch with people who are really listening.
Yeah. Start expanding.
Yeah, and we're gonna just start experimenting with other kinds of content.
Yeah. Try things out. No feed pics though. Well, Dad, what are you laughing at?
The podcast pup.
Yeah.
There she is.
We haven't really identified a topic today. I think
No, we haven't, but
this is a good episode, though.
there
We're just,
was because I didn't get the journal this morning because we were a little more limited on time because we made the trip down
that's
here.
True. I didn't even think about that. What time did you guys leave the house? Where'd you meet? Like at my house?
9:40.
Well, yeah, me and you literally pulled up at the exact same time to their house, and we probably left like a little bit.
I said my house. It's not my house anymore. I don't
Yeah, it's true. And we probably left at like 10:15, I'd say. We got here at like 11:30 ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad ride, right?
No.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. We did it in
You guys came the same way that we went
the
yesterday.
exact same way. Yeah, yeah. But we got through that stretch right when you get off the exit, mad quick.
You just got to put on "Welcome New York" to New York by Taylor Swift as you're pulling in.
That's the move.
Yeah, it's a nice feeling.
What about Dipset? Welcome to New York City.
We watched Secret Life of Pets last night with Lola for our first night in the house. It was nice.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. And then Madagascar came on right after. Yo, that movie looks like a video game, like an old video game now when you watch it. The animation is like so like the park, Central Park Zoo that they're in doesn't move. It's like a still image. It's so crazy.
The best part of Madagascar is the penguins.
I've never
Shout out to
seen
my
it.
mom. My mom loves the penguins from Madagascar.
Does she?
Just smile and wave, boy. Just smile and wave. No, we used to watch that movie all the time when I was a kid and probably still into when I was a teenager.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, everybody used to always say I looked like the giraffe.
You ever watch Mr. Popper's Penguins? The one with Jim Carrey?
No, I haven't.
Neither have I. We could talk about other penguins movies.
I mean,
March of the Penguins.
I was
Ice
going to
Age.
say Happy Feet.
Happy Feet.
Happy Feet is the one. Happy
Yeah.
Feet is the one. Let's be honest. And if we're talking about animated movies, I mentioned this to you yesterday. I got to give a shout out to Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Oh, yeah.
That movie is so fucking fire. I
That's
cannot
always a good one.
express how much I love that movie. It has such a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
And you get mad hungry watching that movie.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's a fact.
You know what I was thinking, though, when we were watching Secret Life of Pets?
Yeah.
So the girl that has the dog just brings home another dog one day without ever introducing the two dogs, and it's just like, here you go. And puts
This is
them
your
in-
pal? I haven't seen that movie in mad long. So.
Well, they put them in the house together, and then like at the end, like the first night, like maybe a couple hours later, I mean, she just got home from work, right, and showed up with this dog. She goes into her bedroom, closes the door, and you can hear the dogs barking and growling, and she just leaves them.
Just like, fuck you, I'm out.
Yeah,
It does take place in New York City, right?
yeah. We were trying to figure out where yesterday.
Like I said, I haven't seen it in a while, but that's the one in the beginning where they all like know each other, and when their
Yeah.
owners leave, then they
They all hang out. Yeah, good movie.
it's a classic.
Second one is trash.
A few nights ago, I watched Cars again for the first time in many years.
I love Owen
dude,
Wilson.
I just like you can't. It's so good, man. It's so funny. Like I just love it. Although my favorite one might be Big Hero 6.
Yeah, that's such a good movie. You put me on to that. I never. Seen
I
it
did.
before that.
I always am like, yo, you gotta watch Big Hero 6.
That's a good movie because it deals with childhood trauma. Yo, talk about
Make
Disney
sure we-
movies.
yeah.
With childhood trauma, just killing parents, blowing
It's
up. the
always
brother.
like that, yeah.
Every time.
Soul, he literally dies, just falls in a.
Yeah, that movie made me cry.
That is such a good, and that's such a good one about like creative expression too.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
He's the jazz guy, right? Yeah, he plays the
Yeah,
saxophone.
mhm.
Yeah. Mad good movie.
Falls in the sewer hole.
Yeah.
Such a New York way to die, bro. Don't fall into a sewer hole, please.
No, I think I'll be
Keep
good.
your eyes open.
Yeah, so I live in a building, so there's a hallway, and we're right next to the mailroom. So you guys will hear that eventually.
Yeah, it is what it is. But like
Oh, and now Lola's like, I don't know what the fuck.
the
is going
sound
on.
that we're gonna get here because we're not outside is gonna be drastically different. You're gonna be able to hear us not only because of the microphones, but because like it is you're way more able to control. And these are also way more like the microphone that you were using before was like a 360 one.
Yeah.
That's why the outside got so loud. But now we don't have any of that picking up. It's all here.
Yeah.
It's all on us.
It's okay. It's okay.
This is different for you, right?
How you doing? Go lay down. No, go lay down.
It's okay, sir. I'll give you a little bit of pets. He's like, you were talking about me. You just said Secret
I
Life
did.
of Pets. Are we going to watch?
I did. She doesn't really pay attention to movies.
Nick, what's your favorite animated movie?
Oh no, that's a hard one. I don't know. Finding Nemo is up there. Though.
Okay, that's the
Finding
first one
Nemo's
that
a good
came
one.
through. Nice choice. He said Finding Nemo is a good one.
Good one.
That's a very good one. Much respect on that choice. Yeah, he's a little. Yeah, he's a
Mass
little younger.
murder at the beginning of that one.
Yeah.
Mass murder. Disney did not go.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one to watch.
That
yeah.
barracuda ate like 150 eggs. All those children. And the mom. They really fucked him up.
It's also just like really morbid with like how they, with the humans and stuff like that. Obviously, it's just it's tough. It's tough.
Imagine that. That's how you start.
Imagine if you were a human and Finding Nemo happened to you. That's crazy. First off, how would you breathe underwater?
Oh man, you took that so literal.
I thought that's the way we're going. Just gonna assume you can breathe underwater.
What did he take in Harry Potter? He put that shit in his mouth. It
Oh,
was
now
like some
you're.
type of
I
seed.
know. I've seen them, but I don't
We're
remember.
talking about magic, so. And you would need magic to breathe underwater, so.
Big magic guy, huh?
Shout out Shaquille O'Neal.
Shout out, Kazam.
Oh
Uh-oh. Not
about a good movie from
Not
childhood.
You want to talk about magic? Yeah,
I
Kazam.
love the part in Parks and Recs when they ask Andy what he would do, and he's like, "I would remake Kazam, and I would do it right."
Oh man. Oh, Chris Pratt. Yeah, no. I recently. You talked about the Super Mario movie.
Mm-hmm.
Super Mario Brothers movie. Sorry, that's the mushrooms making me molest the microphone.
Oh, wow.
That's like what an MC would say.
So, what do you want to talk about? What do you got written down over there?
I thought we were gonna just continue on the childhood movies.
What do you want to keep? Is that what we're doing?
I thought that was a good one. I'm definitely missing one that I haven't mentioned. Oh, Inside Out is a good one, especially for us.
Yeah.
Inside Out is a really good one.
That's the one with all the emotions and shit, right?
All the emotions and shit. Yes, I think it said that on the back of the DVD. What do I got written down here? So what I wrote about was making sure you take note of like when you're in a really good mood and don't have to like this doesn't like the self-improvement process doesn't always have to be like this thing where you're like, I need to get better at this. It can be this thing in rejoicing in where you're at.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, I'm excited to see what his place is. We're going to record a new episode in a brand new location with state-of-the-art equipment.
Hell
and
yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
you're doing it now.
We are living I manifested this.
Yeah. I manifested this, man.
I manifested this. I manifested the.
Been talking about this shit for
But
so
let's
long.
see. Yeah, and then I kind of talked a little bit more about how balance is key in your thought process and making sure that, like I said, you take those times. I think that's. I was reading a little bit from Green Lights, the Matthew McConaughey book, and he like explicitly says something in there about like taking note of, make sure that when you journal, you take note of all the good times, because then like one day you're gonna want to write a book, and you sit down, and you write these, and you realize that I just shitted on myself all the time when I was journaling, trying to figure out like how to be a better person, and I never took note of like the times when I felt really good and there was stuff to be happy about, even if it was just something small. But then maybe that's a good way I can implement that, which is doing the journaling and then just doing the gratitude and affirmations at the end. Like that, even if it didn't go in the direction I wanted to positively, that I can still be like, well, this is my time to carve out for that.
You know what I did first say when I journaled? I did the things that I was grateful for. Normally I do my...
Oh, you do that first? Maybe that's what I should do.
Normally I do my affirmations, and then I do like what I want to get accomplished for the day, and then I say what I'm grateful for. Today I just like switched it around and did it the opposite way. Like, it was nice.
Did the gratitude first?
Yeah, I did that first, and then I did my affirmations, and then I did like my agenda, which is good because like you have to switch up morning routines a little bit every now and then. You got to tinker.
Yeah.
You can't keep doing the same thing, or it's gonna get stale.
Sometimes they get a little stale. Like this morning, I just did not feel awake. Like when my body woke me up at 7, like I was just like mad groggy.
Yeah, zombie.
And I was like, I'm gonna bag reading this morning, and I'm gonna bag journaling, and I'm gonna do some yoga instead, and then meditate, and I have enough time for that to then hop in the shower and make the trip down here. And it felt so good to like do that little thing. And like I just did like 15 minutes of yoga, and then I meditated for like probably 20 minutes, and that gave me enough. Oh, actually, no, I did my breath work too.
Yeah,
I've really implemented that in my routine, and that like you don't notice it. You just like get to doing what you got to do, and then before you know it, like you're more awake. Like that shit helps me immensely. I'm very interested in those breath workshops that like make you hallucinate.
Really?
You never heard about that?
No.
Yeah, there's like these ones that it's virtually. I think it's kind of similar to like those Wim Hof methods, but it's just like more extreme.
Yeah.
And you have to be like in good physical shape to be able to do it. But you breathe like that, and it brings you to a state of, like it would be like taking a psychedelic. Like it's, or some. I've heard some people talk about it in being like out of body experience.
Well, that's cool. That's interesting. I've never
It's
heard of
like
it.
I mean I would certainly not just hop right into it and try to do it at my house.
I would. Yeah.
That's scary.
Advise that.
No, actually, I learned about that when I listened to that book, Breathe, or Breath. I think it's Breath, actually. Who wrote that book? I don't remember who wrote it, but it's a really good book, and it's all about like just breathing the right way. And part of it, there was a section on like how doing your breath work can change your life, and he even went into a thing of like a guy who was an instructor who like taught people it's basically like hyperventilating yourself to like, and then I guess it can make you confront certain things from your childhood.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I mean, like
it's kind of like how he compared it to, I think the closest thing was ayahuasca.
Okay.
But you have to like do it right and with an instructor and pointing you in the right direction. Yeah. Kind of like how you need a shaman or something like that when you do ayahuasca or something.
Connor said he did it when I was talking to him. He was just like,
really?
He was just like, I like them that you guys talk like about mushrooms and stuff. He was just like, have you ever done ayahuasca? And I was like, no, but something I'd be interested in. That's like, I think you have to be called to those things though. Like when it's
I know that I'm not ready for that right now, but I've always been interested in it.
Yeah, I wouldn't just rush into something like that. Like today, even like every time you ask me if I want to do mushrooms, I always say no first, and I'm like, just do them. Like you're like,
just it's
like
natural.
I still have to get through that for me. Like when I like think of them, I associate it with that bad trip, like when I was a kid, and like not that I've had a bad trip in
Yeah.
virtually it's been like over a year like of doing them like consistently like once a month, like twice a month,
Just a little
sometimes.
micro dose.
Yeah, and like it's made a difference, and like I'm fine right now. I'm chilling, having a nice conversation.
Yeah, I'm in like I feel like we've gotten to the
like,
euphoria,
for whatever reason.
just the lifted part. Like you're past the initial.
Yeah, like for whatever reason though, whenever I think about psychedelics, I always like freak out at first. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna trip balls, and like that's not gonna happen.
Yeah,
Be
so
open-minded about it. And that's like the big thing that I've really learned.
that a lot of it is like resisting to where like that natural thing is going to take you.
Yeah,
That's
that
but
builds
that's
a lot
tough
of
to
anxiety.
and like especially when I've had bad trips too. You start to think like, and I get sick sometimes too, often. So to bring your body to the state of mentally trusting it, like seriously, is not easy, and I can't always get myself there.
Yeah,
That's why sometimes it's better than others, But it definitely, if with enough intention, I think, and open-mindedness, you can really take it. Like, and it's not, we respect it very much, but I think a lot of people take them, and even, we're willing to admit that in our past we took them with the goal of
just
getting fucked up.
Yeah, and that's not how you use something like that.
Yeah, you have to respect it, treat it with care. And especially, in my opinion, if you're going to do like a full dose, to not just on the spot do it, like prepare yourself at least like a day or two before to make the decision that you're doing it. And like, don't be going right back to work the next day either.
Yeah.
Give yourself some space.
Have you ever thought about doing it the way that Terrence McKenna did it? Just like in a dark room, completely black, like...
Oh, like a darkness retreat type of?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I mean, like, apparently that's a really good way to do it.
I follow this account on Instagram that is like a darkness retreat, and people go in like the dark for like 3 or 4 days. They wear these things. Yeah. But most of the...
That's wild.
Is that wild?
Yeah.
And I guess that maybe that's part of it, I'm sure, in some places. But a lot of the videos that they post are people coming out of it. Mm-hmm. And every time it's like super emotional.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of what people say is like there's nowhere else to turn to. It doesn't, like, you don't know that something's not going to come up for you to do. Mm-hmm. Something's not going to come in and save you.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it's like to be in the dark for 3 days straight. I don't know what it's like to be in the dark for 10, 12 hours straight, technically.
Yeah. I mean, like, the only thing that I could think of...
I've been to Alaska, but...
What's the longest you meditated, like, with your eyes closed? Like, that's probably... Because, like, that's the only... You're awake.
Yeah, that's
you're
the
awake.
close...
You got to realize that you're awake.
You're awake at least most of the time.
Yeah, you do sleep for, like, 12 hours. Like,
yeah, but just, like, you wake up and... Yeah, but even when you wake up from the sleep, you know it's waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like being blind. Like, going blind.
That's
got to be some shit up, because that always scares the fuck out of me.
Because it's
like,
annoying.
Imagine going blind after you've already seen everything. Like, it's not...
That's the thing. Do you just keep your eyes closed the whole time?
You're not going to see something over your face.
Like, yeah, they put like... It looks like some type of goggles that...
Yeah, so
I'm sure are high-tech to...
You can keep your eyes open, but it's going to look... All you're going to see is black. It's probably more relaxing.
The idea of doing it in the dark is maybe a good introduction to that. Mm-hmm. To just... be like, now we're going in the dark and we're doing this. Just like
there's no dark room and then smoke a J like 45 minutes in, and then like just sit there
and meditate,
like in bed, like
put some music on and nothing.
I mean, like you could, but I mean, like
nothing.
I think the way he
you're
talks
right.
about it was doing it silent, like
yeah. I mean, the idea of it is so much more appealing when it's going and hanging out by the lake or going for a walk in the park or. Anything sounds more appealing than that.
Yeah.
But also, what is the purpose of you doing it? Is it to go have a good time, or is it to, and I guess you can differentiate between that. Sometimes it's to have a good time and get back to yourself, I find.
Yeah.
And then other times I think you can have the intention of,
let's go figure.
I'm not having any luck figuring these things out. I'm going to go into a dark room and figure this out. How do you even do that though? Where do you go to do it?
Davey Reed talks about it on his Instagram. He posted a video about it. He has a podcast. He was on Jared's podcast, and he talks about it. Terrence McKenna is like what Jared talks about all the time. So obviously he knows, but he was just talking about that's how he did it. He like just turned off the light, like taped off like the light on the clock and the VCR, like whatever was flashing in the room, blinds closed, like with a blanket over and just in the dark.
Oh, with the blanket over himself.
No, like over the windows and stuff, and just like laying in a dark room.
Yeah, like you could do it in your bedroom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my room gets dark as fuck too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The blinds go all the way up. Oh, you could make it dark as shit in there, dude.
yeah, it's nice.
Or you also could just do it like at, I don't know. Nowadays it gets dark at like what, 5, 6
Yeah,
p.m.
you could do it at night.
You could just take them then and then go into the darkness.
Mm.
I mean, that's what we're saying, right? Go into the darkness, old boy. Follow your intuition. Have you ever seen that that video on Instagram where they talk about, where it's like the guy goes around to people on the street and he's like, is there any place scarier than your own mind?
Jesus Christ. I mean, depending on where you are in life, like, but that's why you got to talk about these things.
Yeah, I mean,
Who thought we'd be here?
who thought we'd be here, man?
Oh,
It's a valid statement to make at this stage in the journey.
it's crazy though. Like, it's so nuts that like the title of the podcast comes into play so often.
Comes to what?
It comes into play so often.
Oh yeah, there's so many ways to.
like yeah,
There's so many ways to. Who thought we'd be here with a producer, bro?
yeah. That's wild.
Nick, what's your prediction of the score of the Steelers game tonight? Real quick.
Oh, they play tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna get smoked.
They're playing the Titans. What do you think? What do you think the Steelers win by? What's your line?
24-17.
24-17. He said take Steelers minus 6.5. That's Nick's pick.
Who's your quarterback?
Kenny Pickett?
Oh, he's not hurt?
Yeah. No, he's not hurt.
Oh, okay. I thought he was hurt.
And then Ryan Tannehill was hurt.
More importantly,
okay.
their coach, Mike Tomlin. That's the.
I mean, Mike Vrabel's a good coach too, though, for the Titans.
True. But is he Mike Tomlin?
He's all right.
Is he Mike Tomlin though?
I'm Vrabel went to Ohio State, so
Facts. Yeah, Vrabel went to.
I don't know where Mike Tomlin went, and he I got nothing for him.
Real ass coach university? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean his speeches are inspiring as fuck. If we don't inspire you, go watch a Mike Tomlin video. That'll do it.
Yeah. I was just saying to Nick on the way how much I fuck with him.
Yeah. No, I love watching the shit that they
He's
posted
serious.
him.
He's cool. What do you got written down over there, huh? You're always asking what I got written down.
I got.
Come on, there's got to be something good on there. I know we didn't. There's no way we talked about all the shit you got there.
We didn't talk about any of the shit I got here. I mean, we talked
Talk about any of it.
Oh. So, like, for me, this move has meant a lot of changes in my life. So what I had written down was, like, moving on from certain situations and aspects, relationships, stuff like that, because now, one, I'm in a different location, and two, just doesn't suit the person that I am anymore, I think me and you briefly discussed this the other day in the car, like on the way down here. One of the things that I've found a little bit challenging, and somebody reached out to me and I was talking to them about this, is like you feel like you don't fit in a little bit. Because like for me, like at least we talked about like a lot of the people that I hung out with, and like it was all revolved around working in bars and then drinking at bars and like going out. And I still work in a restaurant, but I no longer do any of the other stuff. So it's like you kind of realize that a lot of the people that you were in your life were only in your life before that certain situation. So right now I'm at like a spot where like I don't really like, I have a very close group of people to me. And I wouldn't say that I have like a big friend group. Like I don't have, like there's not a lot of people that I socialize with outside of like you guys and the people that I work with. And like, I don't have a lot of like other people to lean on right now. So like sometimes I feel like I lean constantly like on you for example. And like it's always important to talk about stuff, but like you don't want to, like I don't want to overwhelm you, and I know that you wouldn't mind, but at the same time it's about putting out the energy, because you don't want to, when you are venting to somebody, in a lot of ways you're taking their energy because you're drained, so like you need to get it off of you to them, and you don't want to constantly do that to the same people. So like that's something for me, is like I'm trying to find like a new group of people, like and that like more people to my life that I would be able to have conversations like this with. And I think that's something that as you go through, like, because you're doing it right now too, like I mean you definitely go out and socialize more than I do, because like I mean you didn't drink.
Well, I also now live I still live, you know, where all my friends are for the most part.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like, even when I was there, like, at the end, like, I wasn't really hanging out with
No.
And, like, that's a significant switch from where I was before, when I was always out, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's something that you don't realize when you go into this, is like, oh, shit, like, not only am I, like, changing for the better, but I'm outgrowing everything else around me. It's like...
No,
it's like a fucking what do they sell like on the Jersey Shore? Those little things in the cages, a hermit crab.
Okay,
it's like because you outgrow your shell, you know what I mean? So like you got this is comedy. You outgrow your shell, so like you have to move on. But like that's something that I'm like dealing with right now. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Hermit crab merchandise coming soon.
Hell yeah. It's just gonna be me, and instead of wearing like a Stevenson Ranch hat,
that's
be like a different.
I think that's a great.
Shell.
It's a great analogy. Like there's all sorts of different ways you could make that analogy. That it's just the way it goes, man. Like number one, you mentioned in there that like me and you have worked very hard, especially recently, to get to the point where we're at. Not even podcast wise, just being able to share with each other.
Yeah, we
have that
important stuff.
Yeah,
all the time.
we have the capability to that. Like, I even mentioned to you that like I feel like it's great that when you feel like you're in a really good place, you share that with me, because then I can kind of share in that with you, and I wouldn't really necessarily be able to unless I reached out to you in that random moment where you felt super grateful or super, optimistic about where the future was going. Yeah. And that is like it, in many ways, when you get to this level of friendship, it's not a burden. And it would be very hard for somebody from the outside looking in to know that, like, 'cause there's a lot of this friendship that takes place that allows this to happen, but that is only because of the specific work that me and you take to put in, like about 100% honesty with not even the podcast, but just with our own feelings and what's going on. Like, and if we feel uncomfortable about something, or especially when you start, soon this is going to be a business and all that kind of stuff starts to translate. And I hope you know that I never feel like that. I could never feel that way because you've done that for me as well. And I feel like every time that I get that feeling, because you get it about all sorts of people in your life, not just your close friends, when you hesitate to share that vulnerable information, whether it's good or bad, or, because all the time people are like, if you need anything, let me know. But you don't really know when to take people up on that necessarily, unless you've worked really hard to get to that point to be like, I don't have to think about whether he's really meaning that. Yeah, I know he means that, and that's a standing thing, and that sometimes you have to just hop into. Like the other day when we had a conversation on the phone.
What was that? Yeah, on Monday.
Whenever it was,
we were on the phone on Monday for like 45 minutes.
It might have been Monday,
or no, Tuesday. It was Tuesday. She was working.
Okay, so then it was, and when I was on the phone with you, and I said like I really needed to have this conversation because I was really like spiraling in my own head about trying to figure out what I'm going to do next for a job and where I'm going to live and what's the deal. Well, how is what we do now, which is what I'm most passionate about, going to be affected by that? But if all you're thinking about is what shitty job you're going to get, what shitty apartment you're going to live in next, or whatever it might be, then that's what you're going to get. But if I don't open myself up and be like, there's other opportunities out there, and start feeling proud about,
Yeah, you got to be.
even though I may
optimistic.
not have loved the fact that my career went in the direction of working in the service industry for longer than I expected, it's not going to do me any good to not be proud of that and use those skills to my advantage.
Yeah, it's like
So it's yeah. And you were really like, you have to look literally at this. You can't, you have to get to step 1 before you get to step 5.
yeah.
And I don't remember exactly what it was that you said, but I was like, I really needed to hear this conversation, because you think that I associate that feeling.
What was the quote I sent to you? Oh, neither one of us have my phone.
No, it's fuck. I meant to write it down too,
Yo,
but
it's from the 7 Spiritual Laws.
it's like the known is the prison of past existence.
is the known as the prison of art. Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is.
It's something like that.
This fucking book always.
You told me to get the pocket one too when we were
Yeah, it was like,
when
just
we had that
fucking get it.
conversation.
What day was that on? I said to you.
We recorded that last week.
No. But like, what day?
Oh, that was
we talked
Monday.
on Monday.
That was Monday.
Freedom from our past lies in the wisdom of uncertainty. Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
The known is the prison of our
Oh
past.
no, that's the other. Fuck, it is what it is.
We know. We roughly. I think we were close enough that saying that if you only think the possibilities are what's happened to you in the past, then you're
how is the future?
number one.
gonna be
You're
different.
you're strong. You're super mistaken. New things can happen all the time, but they're at least far less likely to happen if you're not open to them. So that's what I'm trying to do right now, is just kind of be open to that. And it really, like, I've done a lot of work in other areas of my life to improve myself, but then I realized, I'm like, oh, when I have to sit down and write a resume that lists all my qualifications and where I've worked and what I've been doing with my life for a large portion of it, of the last, 8 years, whatever it is, it can be overwhelming if you always have the thought of, where am I going in my career?
Yeah.
And then you have to look out like restaurant. But that's the way it is, and it's not going to do me any good to not be proud of that and use the skills that I've gained from that. Like I know how good I was at doing that.
Yeah.
So
There's a lot of stuff that you can take away from that industry.
yeah,
Like,
and just be open to whatever other opportunity is available. That
yeah. Which is also something you learn in that industry.
yeah.
Yo, this place is busier than where I'm at. I'm out.
You're just like, no, right down
Oh,
the street.
they actually make more money now down the street. I'm going there too.
Right down the street from my house? Oh, okay, fine. So that is where I'm at, because you're in a place of uncertainty. Like, I don't know where I'm going to work. I'm probably going to be moving soon. And it may or may not be close to where I live now.
Yeah.
But when you think about like what brings me the most joy, just being able to do this more often. So I'll certainly be down here more often. But I think we knew that.
Yeah.
That like,
And I'm still coming home. It's like, it's
yeah,
not like I'm
exactly.
having to
It's
come
not
home.
far.
Yeah. Who thought we'd be here?
Who thought we'd be here, man?
Who thought we'd be here? I mean, you know what time it is. How long have we been going, Nick?
This motherfucker probably got to pee.
I gotta pee.
What's our time at?
An hour. I'm consistent though. It's because of the water that I
You
drink while
can't
we're
make this
podcasting.
up.
I drink this.
I drink a
whole
lot of
bottle
water
every
too.
time.
Yeah, mine is.
Shout out to
mine is
all
almost
the
empty
people
as well.
on Here. Los, that's you, my God. Stevenson Ranch. Can we please, like, everything is there. Nick's wearing it too. Just post those. Anything else you want to say?
No, I'm good.
All right.
I think I'm good. Yeah, we got some.
All right. That's a wrap. Zibbity zobbity.
That's where it ends.
All that glitters and gold. I had money, then grow. I've been